It's just going live now. Okay, so we are live, just so you know that.
Yay.
I see Adam's joining us. Hi, Adam.
Hey there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Just waiting for a couple more.
All right.
Does somebody have some music in the background? It's just going live now. Okay, so we are live, just so you know that. Just hearing a little bit of feedback. I think it's better now. So we're just waiting on a couple people. So Amanda, where are you from?
I'm from outside of Chicago. I'm actually at roller hockey right now.
Oh, that's what I hear.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah, I'm going to keep myself muted when I'm not talking, though. So.
Okay. And Adam, where are you from?
I'm from Brentwood, California, and just finished a position as a high school principal, and now I'm in the district office, soup of administrative services.
Okay. Well, you know what? I might just go ahead and get started, simply because I might try to just quickly send out another invitation to Kenny Silva, and let's see, it was Lynn Burke, just to make sure. I'll invite again. But so this session is what I really want, I posted the topic digital leadership in regards to helping your administrators become better digital leaders, because it's one of the things that I am constantly trying to do, because I feel like if you support your administrators, that's when you can actually make change happen in a school. So, and maybe Adam, as an administrator yourself, you might have some really good insight into this, so that you can share with those maybe that are just watching online as well. Looks like Kenny's joining us. Hi, Kenny. I'm constantly trying to do, because I feel like if you support your administrators, you must have it on YouTube as well. So, and maybe Adam, as an administrator yourself. So Kenny, if you have the YouTube stream going as well, you're going to hear feedback. So you might want to mute that or turn it off. There we go.
Hello.
Okay, so first things first. I guess I'll just maybe let each of you share, and some of you have done that already. Maybe Kenny, if you want to share what you do in your district. Stream going as well. You're going to hear feedback. You might want to mute that or turn it off.
I just got it off.
Okay. Hello. So Kenny. Okay, so first things first. What I guess let each of you share, and some of you have done that. Okay, we lost him. All right. Well, I'm just gonna then kind of pose my first question, and that is actually, what do you do currently to support your administrators? And since Amanda's muted, I'll just ask Adam first.
Well, definitely we try to, when I work with teachers, trying to get them to use technology and to work with other administrators, it would definitely be to show the benefits of using tech in the classroom or using social media with students. And so I know that just as teachers, a lot of administrators are worried about losing control and about about a lot of those issues that can come up in when you put that technology in the students' hands. And so if you can make people feel comfortable about it and know that that they are going to lose control in one way, but to kind of set up guidelines and practices and procedures along the way that will limit that anxiety centered around losing control.
Yeah, exactly. So are you a one-to-one school, or does every student have a device? Can they bring their own?
Yeah, so currently we provided about a third of the school with iPads, and then if they did have their own, then they could use it and get on our network. And so, of course, that caused a lot of anxiety and even angst amongst teachers and staff and other administrators on what was going to take place. We thought that incidents of cyberbullying were going to go up, and there were going to be inappropriate pictures and things like that. But actually, they really have been minimal because of the open dialogue that it created.
Awesome.
So I'm an instructional tech coach in elementary school, and I worked with my principal this year. Every school in our district actually started a Facebook account because that's where our parents are. So that's where we want to have the information for them. And I worked with my principal to start using Twitter for professional development. And he participated in a Twitter chat, which was super exciting. He was like, "I'm watching you talk from your house." I was like, "I know, it's great."
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was. But I think that you're right in that it needs to start with leadership, because then they can help support you in moving forward. What do you do? I'm sorry,
Okay, no, that's all right, and I apologize for not clarifying that earlier. So I'm a technology coordinator for a region in the northeast corner of North Dakota. So I serve 23 school districts. That's approximately 13,000 students and about 1,300 teachers. And there's one large district that's pretty self-sufficient in their technology. So for the most part, I'm helping the rural schools. And I think we've made some headway in that, because, especially with social media, because they realize, because of our remoteness, that the teachers and themselves really have to use social media to connect with others and to seek out that kind of information. And so one of the things that we started to do, and why I'm passionate about Google Hangouts in itself, is all of our schools are Google Apps for Education schools. And what we're going to do this fall is we have what's called late starts or early outs, when students either come 2 hours late or have an early dismissal. And so because of our singletons and our schools that are small, we're actually going to have, they're not going to be hangouts on air, but they're going to be video hangouts for teachers in the same grade levels and content areas. So if they're teaching in a really small school and they're the only fourth grade teacher, they're going to be able to collaborate every few weeks with more fourth grade teachers in the region, to kind of share ideas, share assessment ideas, talk about what they're doing in their classrooms, strategies, Common Core, those sort of things, and just kind of have a set agenda for them to talk. So it's kind of almost like this format where they have an unconference where they can just get together in a private chat and collaborate. So we're really excited about that. But the other thing in regards to digital leadership is just helping our administrators. One of the big pushes, and I'm sure it's for you guys too, is teacher evaluation and administrator evaluation. So one of the things I tried to do is really learn about the evaluation model that they chose. And then with that evaluation model, they're looking for certain things as they evaluate teachers. So what I've tried to do is create a shared Google Doc where, if they're looking for this particular skill with a teacher, they have ideas that they can then share back. Because I think what's happening is a lot of our administrators maybe have been administrators for 15 or 20 years, and now they're all of a sudden expected to be instructional leaders, and they're kind of nervous about that. it's just kind of like a shared collaborative document or a space where they can post ideas with one another and with other administrators in the region, so that they can give feedback that's valuable to teachers and give suggestions, and to kind of build their confidence when they're trying to help teachers just basically become better teachers. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to do, is help our leaders become better instructional leaders and help the teachers through the evaluation process. So it's more like a collaborative effort of getting better, and not necessarily thought upon as something that's punitive or that's something that's going to be held against a teacher, to kind of, I guess, foster that kind of a culture in the school, which is sometimes it's hard to do.
You know,
to kind of, sorry.
No, go ahead, Amanda.
To go back to kind of what you were saying about the hangouts with the teachers, that's something that we're looking at doing across our school district, but creating communities for them.
Right.
So that they can post things and then share them, as well as do the hangouts.
Yeah, and that will be part of the process as well. I guess I didn't mention that, but yeah, so to have and I'm glad you brought it up actually, is to have a community where they can post links and resources and that, but then also just have some time that's synchronous where they can get together, just have a hangout like we're doing right now, and just talking about ideas to basically improve education. So.
You know, one thing I was going to say is something that I have found very effective is that when you learn something new and you sort of take the experts out of the room and everyone has to sort of learn together, and whether that's more experienced teachers and newer teachers, or established administrators or new administrators, when everyone's sort of at that equal playing field, when it comes to whether it's implementing a hangout as a substitution for a meeting, or getting someone to participate in a Twitter chat or something like that, or using a one-to-one device to to create an assignment, or what students are producing, then it really does sort of build that sort of trust and that activity that we're kind of all learning this together, and that really does sort of lessen that anxiety, and it gets people more willing to collaborate and more willing to work on things, and then that might allow some administrators to have some open dialogue with teachers about expectations that they might have in terms of pedagogy in the classroom, and vice versa. Teachers might be able to sort of explain what they're doing in the classroom and sort of what their goals are, and it all sort of comes from that building that trust in terms of embracing new technology or things that are like what we're doing now.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess one of the other things too that sometimes I think are some of our schools, in regards to leaders, they feel dependent on the tech person because they don't really know a lot about technology and what technology to buy. So the other thing is just encouraging them to have like stakeholder meetings where it's not just getting input from the tech person, it's getting input from classroom teachers and students and parents, and so that they see that everyone has a voice in how you move forward with your technology, and that's one way for them to really be a digital leader. They might not know everything about the technology, but if they're facilitating how the school's moving forward, I think too that's another thing that will really benefit schools. And when they see that everybody has a stake, it seems to be that they can move along faster and probably go farther than they could if it was just certain people making the decisions on behalf of everyone else that's in the school.
Right, and are you finding administrators within your district willing to sort of embrace new things, or sort of open up their expectations to other avenues?
I think so, and one of the things that I like to do is, and I'm not doing it alone, is that just having, like, we have principal leader meetings, and so sometimes I'll just show them some things and say, hey, look, maybe the next time at your staff meeting, start out by showing them this one little tech tip, and by modeling that for them, for their staff, they're actually then just, changing the scope of what their staff meetings look like, because there's a lot of things in a staff meeting that you probably could just put out on a piece of paper that you don't need to go over, the mundane stuff. But if it becomes more of a learning environment and they're excited to share, it's likely that they're going to, build that confidence to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt. There's some people in the question and answer thing that are asking for to be invited again.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I know it's a little off topic.
No, I'm glad you said something. Okay, and you know what? I'm not seeing any Q&As. Oh, there we go.
I think though that if you can get an administrator to kind of take the risk, not that there's not a lot of risk, but if they're willing to put themselves out there and teachers see them put themselves out there, I think it creates, a environment to make more change, I guess.
Going to invite Lynn again too. Thank you for Amanda for bringing that up to me.
Sure.
There we go. Just sent out a couple invitations. Hopefully they'll pop in. Okay. So, what about literature? Have you guys read any books on digital leadership or anything like that?
I actually just ordered a book.
What's the title?
I can't remember the title. It's from the principal of New Milford High School.
Okay, I'm going to hold it up right now. Is it this one?
Yeah, I just ordered that. From Eric, yes.
Yeah, okay, so this is a really good book. Adam, do you have one you want to add?
Yeah, where is it? This one by Kristen Swanson.
Okay.
Professional Learning in the Digital Age. It's a real easy read. It might be something that you can give to an administrator or some teachers. They can definitely read it in a couple days, and it just has just a wealth of ideas and some practices that are very successful and sort of starting to open up those conversations around digital tools and learner-centered activities around tech.
Cool. Well, I'm going to share one other one here. It's called Professional Capital by Michael Fullen and Andy Hargraves. I don't know if anybody's read this, but
yeah,
we actually had a symposium on this through our university this spring, and so Andy Hargraves was here, and it's just a really great book, and it talks about like online communities of practice and what you can do. Basically, there's decisional capital, human capital, and social capital, which makes up your professional capital, and it really goes into how you can kind of transform the culture of your school, and I just thought it was a really great book, and that was kind of a nice and easy read too.
Yeah, as an administrative team in our district, we read that book, and then used a lot of those, used the different chapters and different concepts that are presented in the book to sort of guide our meetings and a lot of the discussions we had throughout the year. But that really was a very easy read.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing too is in Eric's book too, he does quote Michael Fullen quite a bit in the digital leadership book, and I know we have some administrators that are doing this as a book study as well. So I think those are some good things. The other thing I guess too is sometimes I think our leaders just need to not be afraid to be the first to try something, and it's, to know that it's okay to fail.
Well, when they are put themselves out there and allow themselves to take risks, it kind of shows teachers that it's okay. So it makes a big difference in the culture of the school, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that one of our tech coordinators had been sort of talking about it for some time was iTunes U. And we all use iPads in our district, and so when they first presented iTunes U, there really was not a reluctance to it, but just people just weren't comfortable with it. And now, just a year or two later, all of our meeting notes, all of the agendas, all the supporting documents, things like that are all loaded onto iTunes U. And when I go back to 2 years ago, when it was first sort of, brought out at a meeting, there really was no support for it. But if you're just kind of consistent with it and show ways that it can be used, then before you know it, that change does sort of take place before our eyes over time.
Yeah, and I think too. Sometimes I think I guess as we do professional development and our administrators participate and are active, like you just kind of described, it makes a difference. It just sets a tone, and it kind of opens up a different environment and really within your school district. I personally think, because I mean, I can see it happening in some of our schools. It's so nice to see the leader of the school actually just sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else that's trying to learn something, and I think that makes a huge difference as well.
No, absolutely, I agree. And again, if you're establishing that trust, and we're all sort of learning this together, and not afraid to make mistakes, or not afraid to sort of let someone know that you don't understand something and could you get some help, and just sort of that learning together really does create that culture where those types of changes can sort of take place.
So Adam or Amanda, I guess I don't care who answers this, but when you guys do like teacher evaluations and things, do you do them electronically, or do you do you ever foster or promote the use of technology for those things, or kind of help them or support them with those things?
So I created a Google form that my principal and assistant principal both use when doing teacher evaluations. That I can't remember what script I used, but it automatically pulls it into a document, so it's not like a handwritten evaluation anymore. It's it's something that they're sitting there doing as they're evaluating the teacher, and I think again it's something that they're modeling for their teachers, which is great.
Yeah, we just have basic forms that we have a program in the cloud that houses all of our evaluations and all of our notes, and we do electronic signature. There's no more pen and paper or anything like that. But one thing that I would try to encourage teachers to do during evaluation times was, don't show me a lesson that you can do in your sleep, that you sort of do all the time. I mean, get out there and try a little bit, or try something new. It doesn't have to be all new stuff, but I would much rather see just sort of learning sort of organically take place than a canned lesson that has everything set up and that's been done before. But when teachers really take that opportunity to kind of step out of their comfort zone and try something new, or to have some student-generated conversations and things like that in class, then when I'm evaluating that, I do try to acknowledge that and support that innovation in the classroom.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, do you think now that you're moving like into the district office that's going to, like, maybe you're going to have a different perspective?
Yeah, well, again, I'm going to try to work with administrators on opening up the dialogue, and I think that's really where everything sort of starts, is talking about things, thinking outside the box, building trust with teachers or with parents, and absolutely with students. But again, it's that trust and dialogue and that willingness to try new things. And so I'm going to try to model that from the district office, and try to work with administrators and the students that I do come in contact with, try to get feedback from them about how they feel about their experience at the site.
What about you, Amanda? I guess how are you going to support your your administrators?
I'm gonna kind of try to continue to push Twitter for my principal, because you know I am in the teachers' lounge and I say talk about Twitter, or someone will ask me a question and I'm like, look, I'm tweeting it out and someone's gonna respond to me, and they're like, are you telling them what you're eating for lunch? But so, it's still that perception, I think, with a lot of teachers, but I have some that have started to actually tweet out from like what their class is doing and share pictures, which is awesome. And one thing that I, as an instructional coach, am interested in is starting a district hashtag. So I know that there's a lot of school districts out there that do that, and I think that really promotes everyone using it, and it's part of our community. It's not something separate or something that only certain people do. It's something that we're doing together. So.
Well, I guess the one that jumps to mind, especially if you're in the Chicago area, is Late in Pride. And is it Jason Markey, the principal? It seems like that hashtag is kind of...
and there's an elementary district, too, down at DG 58 Learns. So they tweet, I think on Tuesdays, the teachers, during their plan time, tweet on a certain subject, which is cool.
That is a cool idea.
I think we met at ISTE. I feel like
really?
You look super sorry.
I was definitely at ISTE.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of how that's funny that you say that too, because that hashtag was very not just entertaining but valuable. And I think one of the things too is if your teachers could see, even if your administrators could see that you follow these people on Twitter, and you kind of get to know them, and you get to know them professionally, and you share resources, but then it's so much more meaningful when you go to a conference and you get to see them in person too. But we actually, I don't know if you have an Illinois Ed Chat, or I know there's a California Ed Chat, CA Ed Chat. But
yeah, we do.
We do also have a North Dakota Ed Chat. It's Wednesday nights from 9 to 10 Central Standard Time. If you ever want to participate, you're more than happy to. It's just hashtag ND Ed Chat, and we do have people from other states, and we're actually, I think next Wednesday is a collaboration between Manitoba, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota. So we're going to have a multi-state chat, which will be kind of exciting. But you're right, if it can be asynchronous or synchronous. So if your teachers just jump on Twitter and look for a hashtag, whether it's Common Core or Ed Chat or Ed Lead, there is valuable information out there to be had for educators, and I think if we model that, I think we're going to be great. So I guess we're kind of out of time here, but I just want to thank you guys, because this is my first time trying to moderate doing this, and I know I sent out invitations. I'm hoping Ed and Lynn were able to just maybe follow along, and I apologize if they did not get the invitation, but yeah. I'll look for you guys on Twitter and on Google+, and hopefully we can continue to collaborate.
Great. Thank you very much, Janet. It was nice meeting you.
Adam, do you have a Twitter? You don't have a bottom third, so I just wanted to try and find you.
I put it up there. It's Mr. A. Clark 29.
Okay, I'll find you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.